Call the meeting to order at 5:35. Let's do a roll call and then you want to kick us off, Kenneth?
Kenneth here.
Ken Halliday here.
Kelly Toon here.
Okay, so we have a quorum. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Did everybody have a chance to take a look at the agenda for today? And were there any edits or changes? If not, I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And then we have the minutes from January 16th meeting. They were in the package. Hopefully everybody had a chance to already look at them. Were there any edits to those minutes? Otherwise, I'm looking for an approval or a motion to approve those minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
To approve the minutes.
Okay, I'll second that. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Moving along, are there any conflicts that need to be declared at this time? Okay.
Yep.
We also have time. Do we have any folks on the Zoom or in the room in terms of public comments? So we want to do public comments at this time.
If you have any public comment online, please raise your hand. It's a button at the bottom of the screen. Okay, I do have public comment.
Great.
Okay, Burke, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, hey,
Can
Burke.
everybody hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, hi. I'm not sure how this works, but
If you could give me your name and address, that'd be great.
yep, Burke Harrington, 532A Taylor Street, Minturn.
Thank you.
I'll be quick. Ken, you're kind of familiar with my situation and what I'm going to bring up here. And I have been trying to go through the historic preservation committee process with the demo permit for 2 properties. And I've hit kind of a roadblock. And I'm looking for direction on which way to go. Now, what the problem is through the HPC, once I file the demo permit, there's a 2-week time where a sign is put up on the property and that's a period of nomination. I think, are you guys all familiar with that?
Oh, sure.
Process? Okay. The town, I've been told by Madison and Michelle that the town will not accept the demo permit application because it's not complete. And my problem is to complete the demo permit application, which triggers the HPC period, I have to disconnect all the utilities to the properties. One of which is occupied, and it's the middle of winter. I don't, is there any way to do the 2-week HPC period without going through the demo application? No one's offered me a solution to that. Do you guys understand what I'm struggling with?
Burke, if I can see if I get what you're saying, I think what you're saying is that it's really not just the 2-week. It's that if it gets nominated, it could be 4 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever before there's a resolution, and
or it could get
designated.
It could say, hey, we can't knock this down, right?
Right.
So the requirement for
Is
the
it, but
demo,
the question I have for you, is it and I'm involved in one of these projects, so I'm not gonna opine or
Right.
do anything on this. But I've just tried my own clarity. Is your concern, the concern about cutting off the utilities?
no, Ken, that is a concern. But what my problem is the process is not, if you put a flow chart out, it's not the right process. Okay, there's no need. There's also another point here. They're asking for an asbestos test. Okay, so there's no need to get an asbestos test, and there's no need to disconnect utilities to find out if we can knock the building down through the historical procedure. You know, I mean, that should be separate than the demo application. And so right now we're at a standstill because I can't trigger that 2-week period without filling out a demo application, which the town won't accept because it's not complete.
And it's not complete because you can't cut off the power?
Correct.
Madison, can we get some clarity here? I got a couple of questions about what we're discussing. One, if it fully exists within our preview to be discussing some of these things. And then two, if the nature of a demolition permit is that a property is vacated and does not have existent utility, is that correct? Those are my questions of you, Madison.
Part of the demolition permit application is ensuring or providing proof that water, sewer, power, et cetera, has been disconnected, and providing an asbestos report as well as a report or a permit through CDPHE, the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, saying that any asbestos has been mitigated if there is any. So yes, that is part of the demo permit. Concerning your purview of this, given that it is Chapter 19, I cannot name the section off the top of my head, but the 2-week stay, given that that is what's being questioned or commented on, that is certainly, you certainly don't have to have an answer tonight. That's not really what public comment is for. Public comment is for, you know, anybody in the public to essentially say what they would like for their 5 minutes. And by no means does the HPC need to have an answer tonight. I understand the pressure to give an answer, but that is not typically what public comment is for. It's for the public to express their comments, as the name implies, not for really a back.
Yeah, and I think that's what I was confused, because we were asked for guidance on something in public comment, which is not something I am particularly comfortable with and or common to. Normally, this would be just an opportunity to hear what people have to say. I think there's some relevant information we need to hear here, and I want to continue hearing that. I just want to make sure that we're in our lane and we're appropriately acting.
Okay, well, thank you, Kenneth and Madison. I think I've put it on the table. Let me know if anyone's confused, or go through the town. Tell me if you're confused, but if that's my issue.
Can I ask a clarifying question, Bert? Because it's
Yeah.
it's not totally clear what you're asking for. What I think I hear you saying indirectly, are you saying that you'd like to be able to trigger the 2 weeks and then
Without-
have an answer on that before you file the demo permit?
Correct.
All right, well, we can take that, or we can, I don't know what we do. This is public comments. I'm not sure what we do, Madison, but maybe that's something that staff can look at, or we can talk about offline.
So no action can be taken in public comment, because
what I was
nothing's
figuring.
been noticed. However, that is certainly something that you and I can discuss as the HPC chair, and And we can certainly discuss after the meeting.
Yeah,
What-
just full disclosure, I didn't know Burke was gonna be on here. I didn't know he was gonna make the public comment he just made. So first of all, y'all need to know that. Second of all, one of the two houses, we don't have a plan to demo it right now. We're still evaluating. We're just getting schematic design drawings. But one of those houses he's talking about potentially needing to demo is a property that we have acquired. So I would need to raise that as a conflict. It's not a conflict now because there's no business on it. But I didn't know this was going to happen tonight, and it's totally fine, Burke. But I just wanted to be full disclosure with my committee members. So maybe what we do on this is kick it back, Madison, to you guys. And whether that conversation is with me, because I may be involved in one of these properties down, maybe it's better with Larry as a or somebody else in my place, and we'll look for some guidance from staff on this.
Okay.
Does that
I
sound
can-
right to you, Kenneth? Because you're our
Yeah,
resident.
absolutely. And I think, I mean, I just want to show appreciation, like we want to hear where
Yes,
this process, could potentially cause conflict and or, the process may just be what the process is and there may, but I think, yeah, just understanding that. And so I'm super appreciative to hear how this is,
and now,
is playing out for people, because I mean, our goal from the get-go is to do our best to support the goals of the historic preservation and to be able to support the public as they navigate it as well. And so that's I still feel insured, and if there's something for us to act on and talk on further, I look forward to that and or yeah.
okay, great. Burke, are you done with your comments?
Yeah, I'm just happy that it's on the table there and,
thank you.
just looking for a resolution.
Okay, well, we'll endeavor to get you some feedback at some point. Was there any other public comment?
Anybody else in the audience that would like to speak, please raise your hand. It's a button at the bottom of your screen. I
Okay,
have no more hands raised.
all right. Okay, well, thank you, Burke, for that. Now we're going on to special presentations, which I don't think we have any, correct, Madison?
Not have any.
And we don't have any business items either.
Nope.
We do have a discussion direction item around the plaques and the program.
Yes.
We'll turn it
So-
over to you, Madison. I think you had some stuff you wanted to share on that.
Yes, I did. Thank you. I have a couple of, I understand that there were about 4 different selections added into the packet. So that to kind of look at to see examples of. However, I am providing different examples tonight. And so I was hoping to show those to you if I can find in the multitude of tabs that I have open on my computer.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. This one. Okay, so one that I found online that that I liked was this one that I have kind of blown up to this right side of my screen. So it's got, the seal or what could be a seal for Minturn. It even has kind of like a heritage logo for the city itself. We don't really have that, but it could be cool maybe in the later years. It shows the which landmark it is, and I felt like that was important, in the grand scheme of things. How was this, or when was this nominated in relation to other things that have been designated? And so I generally liked the content of this. Maybe not, I'm not, married to the shape of it, but this was one that I did like the content of. Another option, again, through my millions of windows, I think it was this one. So I know that this is kind of small. What did I do?
I can see it.
Okay. So I liked And I'm telling you all the things I liked. I'm showing you what I picked out. Obviously, y'all are the final, deciding factors. But I'm just kind of giving you my reasoning behind the things that I did pick out. So again, this is a different shape than the oval one. Obviously, this is rectangular. I'm a fan of the little, I guess, arrows, if you want to call them that, on the sides. The content of the text isn't really anything special. I put in a draft example within the memo of something that we would want to include. Hey, this has been designated on Minturn's town register via ordinance blank. This is our number 3, or however it is we want to say that. So, but I do like the fact that this has the year that it was built. I think maybe the previous one did as well. And then again, I'm a little bit drawn to it's not necessarily funky, but it's not clear, square cut. So something like this with the different, divots. It's not just a straight square or an oval or a rectangle. It's got a little bit of character to it. Again, this one, very much like the one earlier in this email that I showed, has a couple of, again, they're not super ornate or elaborate, but it's got something on the outer corners. I think these are more pipe dreams, because once you get into having the actual etchings of the buildings themselves, they get ridiculously expensive, but it was cool to look at. And then again, much like the other ones that I was talking, I did something. Much like the other ones that I was talking about, this has a couple of more kind of Art Deco pieces in the corner. I like the fact that this doesn't really look like a standard font. I'm looking for something. I say it is a
Yep.
personal thing, but I think maybe a community thing to look for something interesting, something unique to Minturn that you wouldn't see, just everywhere else that you look. So that was my goal when I was going through and doing research into the different options. I do think Cindy helped a lot with the packet this week, and she put together a list of pricing from I can't even remember the name of the company now. Let's see. From Erie Landmark. So she put pricing together, just kind of rough estimates in the packet, which I thought was helpful. Obviously every company is going to be different. If we choose to go with somebody not Erie Landmark, then we would obviously have to get quotes from them. But she did put together numbers within the kind of budget line of the memo.
Can you go back to your first slide?
Of course, the first one, that was
The very first one you showed.
yes, I can do that.
You're picking up on some of the stuff that I really like too. There's the eye, right? I loved like this Cleaver house. I love some kind of descriptor, because I was imagining, like Larry's Helen's house, or something, and then it says built.
Right.
I think the year, I don't know if it has to say built. A lot of them don't say built, because some of these places, we have to imagine doing this for all these different properties.
Right.
We may not know when they were built, or they were built over. So just, either circa, or if we know the date.
Mhm.
I like that. And then I liked your language. This property has been placed on the mint, putting it, around or someplace in their smaller print, has been put on the Minturn Historic Register. And I would scratch the ordinance part, just personally. I would say just by the Minturn Historic Preservation Commission. I thought that was good language. I personally liked this one, you probably can't see, but the second from at the top row, second from the left, just because either around or something like this looks kind of historic, versus, because the Art Deco stuff I think is okay for like the early 1900s, but we're like late 1800s. And so I was trying to think about something that would be fitting with it. And then the last comment I'll make is going back over to the first one you started with, the kind of oval one, and you said it had a heritage photo. I kind of think somehow it would be cool, if we wanted to have something that's iconic for Minturn, it's our water tank. It's just a crazy ass idea, but I don't know what to do with that, but it's everybody sees it in town. It's very prominent, and I love the idea of the town seal somehow on there. I don't know that you need to do anything with the water tank, but originally I was thinking, well, maybe we could have a water tank shaped, and then I was like, no one's going to understand that. Those are my comments. I'm sure Kelly's got some thoughts, and Kenneth.
If I can hop in real quick, Kelly, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm gonna run short on time here. Thanks for everything you put together, both Cindy and Madison. I really like, the context of what you have in the, oval shape. And I would agree with, I like that form that he's talking about. It kind of like makes me think of like an old mission or something, like something of the late 1800s. And so I think, yeah, I think that would certainly be better than just a cut and dry thing. I also think a little bit about,
Hey, Kenneth, what did you mean by that? I'm not sure I understood that point.
just the shaping of it, that
Oh,
the one that you picked out just
Okay, got it.
speaks to that time. I was
Yeah.
just saying, like, it makes me think of an old mission, and that's how those are built,
Thank you.
with that big overarch. And I just think it kind of brings some people to that historic time. Obviously, we know that 75 years isn't just 1890. There's certainly homes that were built, nearly almost 1950 we're getting close to. So I think, to sum everything up, what I think is that getting something lifted off the ground that's a little, pretty simple, would be a great start. And then, if we wanted to get more ornate or more established, well, then the people that were already had the plaques would just have an opportunity to upgrade into it. But I think based on the pricing, something under $500, maybe under $400, I think makes the most sense. Those are just some of my comments around it. And, maybe when, in the next meeting, if all five of us are here, we can maybe get to a point where we can make a decision. But I know we're running short on time, but I just want to get those comments in there.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Kenneth.
Kelly?
Yes, can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can, yes.
Okay, sweet. I'm in a very remote location, so I wasn't sure if this was all working. So anyways, my view is all the square ones almost seem like signs that you're just kind of used to seeing, that, kind of blend in and usually just, telling you what not to do. So I like the idea of the oval, just because there's almost no oval signs. So it really would set it different from anything that's posted on any buildings currently. And I do like the third one in the package, that had the big bold date, because from far away you could see it and you instantly from far away know that it's telling you that this is historic. Without getting really up close to it. And I'm a true believer, and especially in a tourist town, and just being able to read something from far away, even though it doesn't need to be very big. And I kind of like that second one on the top that's you have posted right now. After Ken made the reference to the water tower, and I did not even kind of think of that earlier, but it could be a very interesting idea, because that is almost the exact shape in perspective of our water tower. And you could almost have, that same typeface as the water tower, saying Minturn across the top, and then the date, and then a small thing about it being a historical landmark. And that is like our most iconic thing that we have, symbol that we have in town, and it would just instantly be recognizable, I think, to the town of Minturn if done right. So I do commend Ken on that idea, and I like that concept of something that's it's a simple shape, but it does really tie in with the town. So I would like to kind of play with that a little bit more, and it could be something really interesting. And is there a choice on typeface on all of these?
I haven't even looked into typeface yet, I will be honest.
You know,
Okay.
Madison, what would be really interesting is, I wonder for the next meeting, you could take all this feedback and they could, do a mock-up of like 3 versions or something.
Okay, I can certainly see if that's an option.
Yeah, because if we're gonna do business with them, on all of our plaques, maybe they'd be willing to play a little bit with this on the front end.
But I do like the idea, like I always tell people, like I used to do a lot of logo designs, and I actually did the logo for Pope's Bike Shop, which kind of sparked all this. And I always tell people, like, when you look at a logo, kind of squint your eyes, and if you can't figure out what it is with your eyes kind of squinted, then you need to change something.
Okay, I apologize, Kenneth just dropped off, and so therefore I no longer have a quorum.
Okay.
This
Just
meeting
realized
will
that.
have to come to an end.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Madison.